Yeah, people, anytime you're different, you're going to get criticized and you're going to run into opposition. But Jesus did not let their criticism deter him from his mission. And rather than to succumb to the criticism around him, he challenged them to come up to the standard of what he was teaching. Through various illustrations, he began to challenge them to understand that you can't take a garment that's old and try to prepare it with new fabric, because if you do that, in the process of time, it's going to rip again, because that garment is not prepared to hold an old fabric and new fabric together. The stretching, the weaving, the washing is going to cause it to break apart, because the old fabric and the new fabric have two different textures and experiences. In fact, Jesus is saying when you get ready for something new, you have to be careful that you don't try to attach it to something old, lest you ruin the integrity of both things. To further their understanding, he uses an illustration that is very typical at the time, something that they could relate to and something that they could understand quite easily. And what makes Jesus such a profound teacher is that he used things that you can understand to explain things that you cannot understand. He said, none of you would take new wine, and you must understand, in the custom of his day, almost everybody over there was around winemakers, and wine was the drink that they used at meals and in every situation, and so they were well acquainted with the process of making wine. They knew that when wine was new and it hadn't been fermented, that the wine was going to go through changes, that it had to aerate, that it had to go through different changes where it began to ferment, and that it was typical that wine would develop pressure at certain points. And if you put it into something that was inflexible, you would burst it, because the wine was mobile and going through changes. Jesus said you wouldn't take new wine that is subject to go through changes and put it into old skins, because the old skin lacks the flexibility to be able to make the adjustments and adapt to the growth process and the aging process of wine. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So what he wants them to understand is the problem you're having with me is that I have come to bring new wine, but your religious systems and your framework of thinking is so old and antiquated and so concrete that it would burst you to receive what I'm getting ready to do. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Now, I have been a believer for a number of years, and I've been preaching the gospel soon to be 30 years, and I've seen a lot of watch night services. And I've seen a lot of decrees, this is your year of increase, and this is your year of blessing, and this is your special year. I've seen them down through the years, and we want more in 2004. God is coming alive in 2005. You're going to get it fixed in 2006. And we're going to heaven in 2007. And you almost have to come to watch night service to see how they're going to rhyme it together and hook it up so you can go into the new year with a new gimmick and a new concept for that year. And yet, a month into the process, or 2 months into the process, or 3 months in the process, you start saying, well, nothing is coming alive in 2005, and I still need more in 2004, and there ain't no victory in 2003, and folks have sure been bad to me. You're just going down that line wondering, why do things not change? The problem is we have faith in the wrong thing. Your faith cannot be in the clock. It cannot be in the calendar. It cannot be in midnight. It cannot be in watch night service. Your faith has to lie in God and what God is able to do in your life. And I want to tell you something. I don't believe that any of those things were necessarily wrong, and I don't believe the one that we're approaching for this year is necessarily wrong, but I do want to tell you that every year, in fact, every day is an opportunity. It is an opportunity for you to experience the blessing of God. Did you hear me? It's an opportunity. The problem with most people is they waste every opportunity given them because they do not know how to seize an opportunity. I have been preaching this for years. Way back when I was preaching Maximize the Moment, I was trying to tell people that every moment that God gives you is a gift, and that you have a responsibility to receive that gift and to maximize that moment.